Hello, welcome back to the channel. This is the second chapter of class 9, The Sound of Music. Evelyn Glennie listens to sound without hearing it. Now here is a girl, Scottish girl named Evelyn, who is listening to the sounds without hearing it. How she struggles, the physically disabled child, and how she got the success in her life. This story is based on that things. Rush hour crowds jostle for position on the underground train platform. A slight girl, looking younger than her 17 years, was nervous yet excited as she felt the vibrations of the approaching train. It was her first day at the prestigious Royal Academy of Music in London, and daunting enough for any teenager fresh from a Scottish farm. But this aspiring musician faced a bigger challenge than most. She was profoundly deaf. So, this is the first para of the chapter, which says that she was eagerly awaiting for the train because she was going to join the prestigious Royal Academy of Music in London, and as it was her first day, she was quite nervous. And being a teenager, and the bigger challenge which was for her as she was deaf and she was waiting for the train to arrive. She was a 17 years old girl. Now the second paragraph of this chapter. Evelyn Glennie's loss of hearing had been gradual. Her mother remembers noticing something was wrong when the 8-year-old Evelyn was waiting to play the piano. They called her name and she didn't move. I suddenly realized she hadn't heard, says Isabel Glennie. For quite a while, Evelyn managed to conceal her growing deafness from friends and teachers. But by the time she was 11, her marks had deteriorated, and her headmistress urged her parents to take her to a specialist. Now, the second paragraph of the chapter tells us that she was not physically disabled or deaf by her birth, as her mother noticed when she was 8 years old. When she called her to play the piano, at that time she didn't reply. So mother Isabel Glennie realized that there is something wrong. For quite a while, Evelyn managed to conceal her growing deafness, just she could be able to reply for some time. But as the time goes on, she was losing her hearing capacity. By the 11 years old, when she turned 11, at that time, her headmistress requested her parents to take her to some specialist. It was then discovered that her hearing capacity was severely impaired as a result of gradual nerve damage. They were advised that she should be fitted with hearing aids and sent to a school for the deaf. Who advised her to fit the hearing aids? It was the doctor. The specialist suggested that Evelyn should carry the hearing aids and she should be admitted. She should take in her admission in the deaf school only. She should send in the deaf school only. So gradually, due to the nerve damage, she lost her hearing capacity. Gradually, day by day. First, it was noticed when she was 8 years old by her mother, and gradually by 11 years old, it was noticed by her headmistress also. So, headmistress only suggested to send her to the doctor, to the specialist. Now the third para of this chapter. But Evelyn was not going to give up. She was determined to lead a normal life and pursue her interest in music. One day she noticed a girl playing a xylophone and decided that she wanted to play it too. Most of the teachers discouraged her, but percussionist Ron Forbes spotted her potential. He began by tuning 2 large drums to different notes. Now, Evelyn, being a determined child, she told that I am not going to give up. I am not going to stop for whatever the disability I am going through. So she pursued her interest in music. She keep going on with her interest. One day she noticed a girl playing xylophone. She came across a girl who was playing a xylophone. So she also decided that she wanted to play it too. And most of the teachers who discouraged her, who didn't support her, but there was one percussionist here. The percussionist means a person who plays drum, tabla, various other instruments too. That is known as percussionist. So there was one percussionist named Ron Forbes who spotted, who found her potential, who found her skills, her interest. He began by tuning two large drums to different notes. He started playing with two large drums to different notes. Along with that, Ron Forbes also gave her the suggestions that don't listen through your ears. He would say, try to sense it some other way. Now, this was the suggestion given by the Ron Forbes, the percussionist, that you are not supposed to listen to through your ears. Try it some other ways. Use some other senses. Suddenly, I realized I could feel the higher drum from the waist up and the lower one from the waist down. So, Evelyn says that whatever the instructions, the suggestions given by the percussionist Ron Forbes, I started to realize it, that I could feel the higher drum, the higher note from my upper portion of the waist, whereas the lower drum, the lower notes from the lower part of my waist. Forbes repeated the exercise, and soon Evelyn discovered that she could sense certain notes in different parts of her body. I had learned to open my mind and body to sounds and vibrations. The rest was sheer determination and hard work. Now the Evelyn is sharing that she started to feel the music in the various ways. She started feeling the music, and she discovered that sense certain notes in the different parts of her body, that she can sense it in the different parts of the body, in the various parts of her body. And even I learned to open my mind and body to the sounds and vibration. Now I started learning to keep my mind open and the various sounds and vibrations which I can feel through my body, and the rest I can achieve it through my determination and the hard work. I did hard work to gain such a success. Now the fourth para of this chapter. She never looked back from that point onwards. She toured the United Kingdom with a youth orchestra, and by the time she was 16, she had decided to make music her life. She auditioned for the Royal Academy of Music and scored one of the highest marks in the history of the Academy. She gradually moved from orchestral work to solo performances, and at the end of a 3-year course, she had captured most of the top awards. Now the fourth paragraph says that she had never turned back. She never looked back. She just keep on going. She keep on doing her hard work. She toured the United Kingdom with the youth orchestra, the young group, and at that time she was 16, and she decided, by the 16 only, she have decided that she will make the music as her life. She gave her audition in the Royal Academy of Music, and where she was the top scorer. She scored the highest mark in the history of that academy, and she decided that from the orchestra, from the group, I'll give my solo performances. At that time she have decided to give her solo performance, and at the end of 3-year course she had captured most of the top awards. By the time she had finished her 3-year course, she achieved many awards. The fifth paragraph of this chapter. And for all this, Evelyn won't accept any hint of heroic achievement. If you work hard and know where you are going, you will get there. And she got right to the top, the world's most sought after multi-percussionist with a mastery of some thousand instruments and hectic international schedule. And for all this, Evelyn won't accept any hint of heroic achievement. Now the thing what she shares with us, that if you are working hard and you know where you are going, you know your aim, you know your goal, if you know your target, then you will get there, you will achieve that by any cost. And she got right to the top. Whatever the target, whatever the aim she have decided in her mind, she have achieved. She reached to that top, the world's most sought after multi-percussionist. She was a multi-percussionist with the mastery of some thousand instruments. She was having the mastery on various instruments. Next, the sixth para of this chapter. It is intriguing to watch Evelyn function so effortlessly without hearing. Now, the sixth paragraph of this chapter is, it is intriguing to watch Evelyn function so effortlessly without hearing. In our 2-hour discussion, she never missed a word. Men with bushy beards give me trouble, she laughed. It is intriguing to watch. Intriguing means ears, interest, or arousing curiosity, someone's curiosity to watch. It was quite interesting to watch Evelyn function so effortlessly, that the way she was presenting, it was without any efforts, effortlessly without hearing. In our 2-hour discussion, she never missed a word. That within this 2-hour discussion, she never missed a word. Even she is laughing and saying that men with bushy beards give me trouble, as she is saying that a fellow or a man who is having a beard, a bushy beard, it is quite troublesome for me. Why it is troublesome? She laughed. She said mocking, because it is not just watching the lips, it's the whole face, especially the eyes. She speaks flawlessly with a Scottish lilt. My speech is clear because I could hear till I was 11, she says, but that doesn't explain how she managed to learn French and master basic Japanese. Here she explained that I hate a man with a bushy beard, because she is giving the reason that I am not keeping an eye, I am not just checking the lip sync. Along with that, I study the whole face, especially the eyes, because it is said that eye speaks a lot rather than the lips. The eyes expresses more. So she reads all the expressions. She speaks flawlessly with the Scottish lilt. Now, Scottish lilt is a way of speaking, the style of speaking. Without any fault or without any mistake, she is speaking very flawlessly. My speech is clear. Now, why she is speaking flawlessly? She is giving the reason for that also. Why my speech is more clear? Because I could hear till I was 11. In the previous paragraphs, we have already seen that gradually she have lost her hearing capacity. So she is saying that I could hear by 11. When I was 11 years old, till that time I was able to listen. But that doesn't explain how she managed to learn French and master basic Japanese. But after 11, she was unable to hear. She have lost her hearing capacity. So still she managed to learn the French and basic Japanese. So now the 7th paragraph of this chapter. As for music, she explains, it pours in through every part of my body. It tingles in the skin, my cheekbones, and even in my hair. When she plays the xylophone, she can sense the sound passing up the stick into her fingertips. By leaning against the drums, she can feel the resonances flowing into her body. On a wooden platform, she removes her shoes so that the vibrations pass through her bare feet and up her legs. Now, the 7th paragraph explains us like that. Now she is saying that for me, what is the music? As for the music, she explains that it pours in through every part of my body. That music flows into each and every part of my body. It tingles in the skin. It totally pricks into my skin, my cheekbones, and even in my hair. Each and every part of my body is filled with music. Another thing what she's sharing, that when she plays the xylophone, she can sense the sound passing up the stick into her fingertips. Now the another thing, that whenever she is playing the xylophone, she can sense that the sound is passing through the stick to her fingertips. By leaning, by bending, leaning means bending against the drums, she can feel the resonances. As she bends against the drum, she can feel the vibrations flowing into her body. And the another thing which she follows, that on a wooden platform she removes her shoes so she can feel the vibrations which can pass through her bare feet and up her legs through her body. She can feel that vibration. That is the reason she is not wearing the shoes on the stage, on the floor, to feel the vibrations. Now the 8th paragraph of this chapter is, not surprisingly, Evelyn delights her audiences. In 1991, she was presented with the Royal Philharmonic Society's prestigious Soloist of the Year award. Says master percussionist James Blades, God may have taken her hearing, but he has given us back something extraordinary. What we hear, she feels far more deeply than any of us. That is why she expresses music so beautifully. It's not quite surprised that she delights, she makes her audience happy. And in 1991, she was awarded with the Royal Philharmonic Society's prestigious Soloist of the Year award. She was awarded with the Solo Award of the Year. And even the percussionist James Blade says about her that God may have taken her hearing capacity, but he has given her back something extraordinary. God has gifted her something extraordinary. Whatever the thing we can hear, she can feel it, and even more deeply than any of us. That is why she expresses music so beautifully. She can feel the music in the depth, and she can express the music more than any of us. Now let's move on the next paragraph of this chapter, that is 9th paragraph. Evelyn confesses that she is something of workaholic. I have just got to work, often harder than classical musicians, but the reward are enormous. Apart from the regular concerts, Evelyn also gives free concerts in prisons and hospitals. She also gives high priority to classes for young musicians. Anne Richland of the Beethoven Fund for Deaf Children says she is a shining inspiration for deaf children. They see that there is nowhere that they can not go. Now, Evelyn confesses what the 9th paragraph is saying, that Evelyn is confessing herself that she is something of workaholic, that she is workaholic. She loves to work day and night. I have just got to work. Without work, I cannot survive, I cannot live. Often harder than the classical musicians. I do the hard work more than any of the classical musicians, and the rewards are enormous, which are beyond my imaginations. And apart from the regular concerts, Evelyn also gives free concerts. That apart from her regular concerts which she is giving, she also gives the free concerts for the prisons, that is for the jail and the hospitals also. And even she also gives high priority to the classes for young musicians. Apart from getting the paid concert, even she is giving the classes for the young musicians, for the future musicians. Even the Anne Rachlin of the Beethoven Fund for Deaf Children, she is saying that she is a shining inspiration for the deaf children. They see that there is nowhere that they cannot go. Here that they see they have been for the deaf children. Deaf children count Evelyn as an inspiration. The last paragraph of this part 1 is Evelyn Glennie has already accomplished more than most people twice her age. She has brought percussion to the front of the orchestra and demonstrated that it can be very moving. She has given inspiration to those who are handicapped, people who look to her and say, if she can do it, I can. So now Evelyn has turned up the inspiration for many of the handicapped, not only for the handicapped, for the others also, those who are quite fine, and they are saying that if she can do it, that being a handicapped, if she can do the things, why can't we? So that's why they are saying, if she can do it, I can. And not the least, she has given enormous pleasure to millions. Not only the inspiration, along with that, she have given the happiness to the millions of the people in this world. So this is the part 1 of the chapter 2, the sound of music. So bye bye, stay tuned. We'll meet in the next part 2 with the Shehnai Wadak Bismillah Khan.